I didn't murder anybody. I didn't help somebody murder anybody.
They are just finding it still very difficult to talk about what happened. On the outskirts of town, though, where police found the two teens' bodies, people are talking, sharing their disbelief and anger.
Those girls loved each other. They were good friends. Neither one of them left each other's side.
Abby Williams and Libby German were murdered on a trail in Delphi, Indiana.
$219,000 is a lot of money. We've spoken to a lot of people who can't understand why that much cash hasn't pried loose the information police need to break this case open and make an arrest.
So that's what happened. You got pissed off at him. You dragged him down, and you killed.
It was February 13, 2017 in the small town of Delphi, Indiana, a quiet rural community where everyone knew each other and nothing out of ordinary usually happened. The kind of place where kids could still ride their bikes down the streets and families felt safe letting their children play outside. That afternoon, two best friends, 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams, decided to spend their day at school exploring the outdoors. They were dropped off near the Mountain High Bridge Trail, a popular hiking spot surrounded by trees, with an old wooden bridge towering high above a shallow creek. Everything seemed completely normal. The girls were laughing, taking pictures, and enjoying the crisp February air. Libby even posted a picture on Snapchat of Abby walking across the bridge. Just two teenagers making memories. But as they continued across the old railway bridge, something happened to them that no one could ever explain, not even Albert Einstein. Libby and Abby didn't return home that evening. Their families assumed they had wandered off somewhere nearby. It was a small town and children often roamed the trails alone or with friends. No one thought to panic. The bridge trail was familiar and considered safe. By the time anyone realized something was seriously wrong, hours had already passed, and when the search began the next morning, the horrifying truth was waiting in the woods. As they were searching the woods, they saw something that shocked the whole world. At first, family members tried to convince themselves that it was just a nightmare. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe the girls had hidden somewhere and would step out any second. But the closer they got, the more impossible it seemed. The air grew heavy and uneasy silence hung over the place. And then the truth could no longer be denied. There among the trees near the trail were the bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams. The girls had been brutally murdered, their lives taken in a place that was supposed to be safe. The shock rippled through the town. The quiet rural community that had always felt protected suddenly realized that the terror could even reach the most familiar paths. That morning marked the beginning of a search for answers that would last for years. A search that finally ended in justice, but questions about why it happened would last for years. At first, police had very little to go on. Days turned into weeks and the trail seemed to vanish into thin air. Investigators scoured the town, spoke to neighbors, and questioned anyone who might have seen something unusual. But every lead ran cold. Then, months later, police found something that no one could understand at first. It was small, almost insignificant, yet it sent a chill through the investigators. They examined it again and again, trying to figure out what it meant, hoping it would point them in the right direction. The case dragged in for years, tips poured in, thousands of them, but every clue seemed to lead to nowhere. The town held its breath, families lit candles, vigils were held, and every parent wondered if a killer still walked free among them. And then, slowly, pieces began to fit together. In October 2022, a forgotten tip led police to a man named Richard Allen, a local resident who had been seen near the trail the day the girls vanished. Investigators looked closer, examined old evidence with new eyes, and uncovered details that were chilling beyond imagination. On February 13, 2017, as Libby German and Abby Williams were walking along the Mountain Hybrid Trail, they sensed that something was not right. The air felt heavier and a faint presence seemed to be following them. At first, they tried to ignore it, thinking maybe it was just another hiker or a passerby. But deep down, something told them to be super cautious. Libby, feeling uneasy, pulled out her phone from her pocket and started recording Abby as she walked ahead. In the video, a man appears in the background. He is walking, deliberately keeping pace with them from a distance. And there is something unnerving in the way he moves. Slow, steady, and silent. He wears jeans and a jacket, and his face is partly obscured. Yet there is a presence, a sense of menace that cannot be ignored. Then the man speaks. His voice is calm, almost casual, but chilling in its command. He says 3 words that would haunt the investigation for years. Down the hill. The girls freeze, unsure if they heard correctly. The camera shakes slightly as Libby instinctively lifts it to get a better view, capturing him as he follows them. What happened next was horrific. Both Libby and Abby were violently attacked. Investigators later confirmed that their throats had been slashed and their deaths were almost instantaneous. The brutality was deliberate, precise, and shockingly cold. Nothing about the attack suggested hesitation. It was methodical. The killer left no signs that could help identify him immediately. The quiet woods swallowed the evidence, leaving only the bodies of the girls behind. Their backpacks, coats, and shoes remained near the side, untouched, emphasizing the cold, calculated nature of the crime. It was a place that had once been a safe, everyday path for the children of Delphi. That day, it became a scene of unimaginable horror. A normal afternoon turned into a nightmare that would haunt the town forever. For years, the video remained a critical piece of evidence. It showed not only the presence of the killer, but also the cold, methodical way he approached. Every detail from his slow footsteps to the command he gave would later help authorities piece together exactly who had done this. The breakthrough came when the investigators matched a forgotten tape to a man in the video named Richard Allen, a local resident who had been seen near the trail the day the girls vanished. His arrest finally brought justice to Libby and Abby. Decades of fear and mystery finally resolved.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.